Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to echo, first of all, your comments in terms of commending all of the witnesses, but particularly Director Clapper and Director Brennan for your great service to our country. I also want to acknowledge one of the new members of our committee, both new members here, Senator Manchin and Senator Harris. I know Senator Cornyn will be joining us briefly. And while she's not here yet, I want to acknowledge the great role that Senator Feinstein has played, both as chair and vice chair on this committee. We're here today to discuss the intelligence community's comprehensive review into Russian interference in our 2016 presidential election. For me, one of the most serious events of my public life. Interference in American democracy and our electoral process by any outside power is unacceptable. Now, much of the press reporting and conversation about Russian activities have focused on the hacks of the DNC and John Podesta. But as the report pointed out, the Russians also hacked systems associated with the Republicans. They just chose not to release that material yet. There's nothing that prevents them from doing so at a time of their choosing in the future. While the target of this campaign was Secretary Clinton, any of us, Democrats or Republicans, including members of this body, could easily be the next target. What the Russians did was nothing less than an attack on our political system and democracy itself. We can simply not allow it to stand. The IC assessment is more detailed, but is in line with previous assessments from the intelligence community, that Russian officials at the highest level, including President Putin, engaged in, your words, not mine, in an unprecedented level of interference in our election. It concludes that these actions had the goal of harming the candidacy of Hillary Clinton and the boosting the candidacy of President-elect Donald Trump. We are not here to relitigate the results of the election. At the same time, I am committed to ensuring that there is a thorough, bipartisan, and expeditious congressional investigation of Russia's role. In my view, our committee should focus on three broad areas: the Russian hacking and release of stolen information, Russia's use of state-owned media and other means to amplify real and fake news to further their goal, and contact between Russian government and its agents and associates of any campaign and candidate. I, like you, Mr. Chairman, have written to all the witnesses here today, asking them to cooperate with us in this investigation and turn over as many documents and as much evidence as quickly as possible. I, like you, am reiterating that call today. It is equally important that the incoming administration and those folks who will take Director Clapper and Director Brennan's roles going forward will continue to cooperate in this effort. Additionally, it's my hope, while we've made a first step, that we'll continue to try to declassify as much material as possible, while again protecting sources and methods. The American people deserve to know, as soon as possible, that their elected representatives have taken a close look at the intelligence report that we're considering today. They deserve to know whether we concur or not with its conclusions, and that we're prepared to respond to the threats outlined in the assessment. The actions that the President took recently in response to the Russian activities was an appropriate and first step. At the same time, I still have questions why the Obama administration didn't act further and didn't act sooner. But as we look forward, preventing future attempts to undermine our democracy and our position in the world will require sustained response from the incoming administration and from this Congress. I truly believe the strength of Americans' democracy will be measured in part on what actions we take to develop a robust and proactive cyber strategy. Part of that strategy must include tools and capabilities to deter and effectively respond to future attempts by foreign actors to influence America's democratic process. One of the things I've always valued about service on this Intelligence Committee is the tradition of leaving partisanship at the door, oftentimes when we go into that skiff. I look forward to working with you, Mr. Chairman, and all our members to complete this investigation as quickly and expeditiously as possible. And gentlemen, your agencies The work that your agencies completed underscores the importance of the role the nation's intelligence community plays, and the men and women who quietly work every day to keep our country safe. This report represents the best analysis of the men and women of the intelligence community. These are professionals who have taken an oath of office to present the whole truth as they see it, faithfully to Republicans and Democratic administrations alike. As a member of this committee, and I think all of us who served for some time, have seen firsthand the dedication of the men and women who work for you. I know that one of the most primary missions of the intelligence professionals is to render the best professional judgment, regardless of political considerations, and always be willing to speak truth to power. I support them for their work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.